One. All right. So another Paradigm Shift Radio After Party Hangout is live. So everyone, say hello. Say hello to the internets, everyone. So hi.
Hello.
Hello.
There you go. All right. Okay. Out of that, I took a screenshot of us making a funny face. I'll become the post, and then more people will find out about it. So on this episode of Paradigm Shift Radio, the topic that we're going with. What? Oh, Andy's jumping in with something.
Oh, yours.
Hold on, Andy. We're just getting started here. Can you just ease up just for 1 second? Andy's is Andy like trolling us? I don't know what he's doing right now. He's like coming back and he's like, "This is Sparta." That happened earlier. It did. Okay. So, anyways, energies
I did tell him to calm his tits.
Vibrant. So yeah, okay, so tonight's topic of the show was how to build a paradigm shift community, and on the show I talked for a good like 90 minutes plus just about stuff, and I guess some of you guys were listening, or most of you guys were listening. Was there anything that you guys wanted to ask me as we're just in this hangout, and then we'll just sort of let the conversation kind of go wherever? But yeah, does anybody have a question about building a paradigm shift community?
I think you pretty much went over a lot of it.
I'm totally fine if there's no questions.
No,
I know.
I don't have any questions at the moment. But maybe when we get started, like talking.
Yeah.
I don't know.
we can totally go wherever, because I mean I know like even just like Bonnie, she's an admin too. Kristen's an admin, so I mean you guys have like a bit of experience and stuff. Like I think it's interesting just like saying, you know, like what has it been like building a paradigm shift community? Like what resistance have you run into? For me personally, like building a community in my area, like only on like 1 or 2 rare occasions have like somebody like displayed resistance towards the idea, have been like, be like, oh, you know, like that's like, oh, that's stupid, man, like you're just like wasting your time or whatever. Like really, like honestly, like only like once or twice in all the 5 years. And I think like that's something where like don't be afraid of like not, you know, like making people think that you're weird or something like that. Like if they think that you're weird, like that's totally cool, because I think if we embrace our weirdness, then that just like gets us moving along a lot faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like there was one situation where I was doing free hugs, and I guess this is just for anyone. If you're doing free hugs, just be mindful that like there may be some people who may just sort of like had someone, you know, rub them the wrong way earlier, and then they'll like potentially take it out on you in the idea. But it oftentimes will just come off as like a glare or something. But even if it's passing by, like don't take that too personally again, right? Like hold strength in your heart and just like continue to promote positivity. Just as an example of something that happened to me with one of the times that I was doing free hugs, like I was doing it downtown, and hold on, Andy, can you? Okay, Andy's coming and going. But I was doing free hugs downtown, and a guy was like, he was walking by, he's like, free hugs, like, how about a free punch in the face? And so, like, what was my response to that, right? Like, honestly, like, my response was, like, not even to, like, try and, like, smile at him in a cute way or sort of be like, oh, you're funny or something like that. But it was almost just to, like, neutrally just let it go past. Whereas, like, if you're trying to, like, be like, hey, man, what's your problem or something like that, then you're just going to meet frustration with frustration. So I mean, this lesson goes with anything, right? Like, don't meet frustration with frustration. Oftentimes, like, love can exist in a passive form where like someone may be like, oh, like this is stupid, and your expression of love is letting them vent, because maybe to that guy, like it helped him by saying like, be like, oh, I just want to punch that guy in the face or something, you know, like maybe like not that it cured his situation, but that's just like him trying to get something out of himself. So again, it's like not taking it too personally is important. Does Ariana have a question?
No, something to add to that. That just
oh, go for it.
I read a book by Thich Nhat Hanh. He's a Buddhist monk, and he talks a lot about compassionate listening, which is kind of the same thing, where you just kind of empty yourself out and let people vent at you and just let them get it out.
Yeah.
And not judge them for it.
Mhm. So, yeah. And it's interesting because like sometimes at meetings that can happen. The meetings of the like for a paradigm shift community can actually super prediction on where they'll go. Up to the admin, it's your ability to facilitate it. But one of the most powerful meetings that we had as a community was a meeting where we had a big group and we all talked about like what challenges have we gone through, what struggles have we gone through. So it was a very healing process, and like there were people saying, be like, well, like this is something that happened in my childhood, and this is like a chance for me to like verbally express it. And maybe they're saying stuff that they've never even said to people before, let alone like a group of strangers. So understanding that like the paradigm shift community circles are a place for healing as well. They're a place for people to have that cathartic release and to do it in a safe space. I mean, if you guys have any thoughts on that, just go ahead, because I'm just kind of multitasking right now. So, or just like any thoughts on what you think about that idea?
I think that's great.
Yeah, I think that's awesome, yeah. To think of it as a healing process, and other people are coming and you're healing them and they're healing you in a certain way, so and you're each bringing something to the table, and I think it's awesome, yeah.
Yeah, that would almost be something where like if I could redo the episode, I would probably just want to go back and emphasize that healing is a big part of the community group. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think it is good to establish like a facilitator in the beginning, because the first meetings that we had, we weren't really doing that, and also kind of like a time limit, because sometimes one person might talk like a really long time and nobody wants to interrupt them, but at the same time it's like other people want to get their voice heard, and I feel like that's where the healing really comes in, is to be heard and be seen by other people, expressing yourself in your true nature. So yeah, that's why it's good to do the facilitating stuff.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like in general, like you don't want to try like cutting them off, but I mean, yeah, there's subtle ways that you can just sort of like help move things along. You can just sort of say like be like sorry, not to interrupt. But like just so you know, like so and so has their hand out. So and then they'll just be like, oh, okay, let me just and then they'll wrap up their point. But they won't be like opposed to you just being like, all right, shut up, your turn's over. But just sort of, because sometimes it's not like they're not even doing it on purpose. Sometimes if they're really passionate about something, they sort of like get in this zone where they won't see someone with their hand out, and like that's as honest as it is, opposed to them trying to hijack the conversation. But at the same time, like I think there are some situations where like you will get people who will almost like come into a paradigm shift community and may almost have like a negative or sort of almost like a parasitic vibe to them. This is only like happened maybe like it's not something that's super happened in my community, but I know it's happened in other communities. I don't know if I mean it's hard for me to say like what advice to give in a situation like that, because it would be relative to like the specifics of it. But yeah, I think that's where like the facilitator would just be like, hey, like nothing personal, but like this is sort of the consensus of how we're gonna roll with things here, and part of it is to understand that like we're trying to equally like fair share amongst everyone. So like just be conscious of it, opposed to like trying to get like defensive or whatever and stuff. But yeah, I'm just kind of saying things out loud. But yeah.
Totally.
What's up, guys?
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
You guys have a
What's up, Monk?
paradigm shift community, Monk?
Yes, I do.
In your town? Where do you? Oh, in Louisiana.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Our
Monk,
group.
you're the admin for, or what's the Facebook page that you're the community that you're the admin for? Like, do you have a page for it?
Yeah, Paradigm Shift Central Louisiana.
Okay, sweet. That's awesome, man. Like I just
All of
there's
Louisiana.
quite a few of them. So how does anybody want to like? Because I mean, like we said, we got a few admins here. Does any of the admins just want to share some like cool stories that have come out of their community, like just people they've met and awesome things that have happened or anything?
Well, I feel like our group is like we've only met together actually 3 times, and the other people who come to the meetings, I don't see them online. Like they are rarely online, but they're still like involved in it, even though they're not like listening to the shows so much anymore and like being active like online. So it was really interesting when I found these people who had like already started the Facebook page and already tried to have some groups, but nobody really came out, and now we're like coming together. And yeah, we're just planning things. I'm going out of town for a week and a half, and then we have some meditations planned, and we just got this Saturday night thing going. But it's all really new still, and yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see what is to come. Some of the people were kind of didn't want to do free hugs, which was interesting to me because they, you know, don't want to deal with like other people's energy so much. So that was also interesting. So there's totally like just so many different like views. But I would like to get the free hugs thing going. Austin can be
for sure.
I love
Michael. You guys are getting good at it too.
Oh my gosh.
You guys are addicted to it now, I can tell.
I
Just need one more hug, man. One more hug. Sorry, I'm just gonna steer this. Michael was asking a question in the chat on the side. Michael, do you want me to read it or do you want to ask it?
I'll go ahead and ask it.
Go ahead, yeah.
So I know that starting a new paradigm shift community probably requires a certain amount of time and dedication, as anything does, especially when you get successful to get the ball rolling. But how do all of you balance it with something like your day job or school or other requirements that you already have?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, and I'll let everyone else sort of answer this as well. I guess because I didn't fully emphasize this on the show, but one thing again, just to bring another theme into it, the way how I've sort of proposed things. Well, I did say this during the show. I try to keep it simple. And the simplicity of it is like part of the manageableness of it. So I mean, when you think about it, it's stuff that you could be doing while you're actually doing your day-to-day job, you know? So if you're on the bus, start like looking out the window and be like, where can we have a meeting? Where can we have a meeting, sort of thing? And then, you know, like on your lunch break, maybe you can walk into a studio or something and start asking. So I mean, just breaking it down again, I mean, there's not a heck of a lot that is required at the base level. Essentially, all you need to do is figure out a place to have meetings and then arrange your meeting, and then from there, as to how much you want to promote it is really up to you, because you may find that, you know, like, oh, I don't need to go out and like do like free hugs like every weekend sort of thing. Like I got people, there's a lot that you can just do through the Facebook networking that in itself will bring people out to the meetings. So I mean, the free hug things aren't essential, so it's not like a commitment where like if you're starting a paradigm shift community, like you have to do free hugs and you have to do all this. At the base level, you have to find a place to have the meetings, organize the meetings, let people know in some way or another, and then repeat. And then again, like once the meetings get into a routine, it becomes like automatic. It actually begins to manage itself. So for example, like I said, with the Paradigm Shift London community, I don't have to arrange the meetings every week because we know when they are, and it's even to the point where I don't even have to be at the meetings sometimes because there's enough people in the communities who are familiar with it that I'm not worried about it like not functioning if I'm not there, because I know like somebody else will be like oh, well, you know, like I've been to a meeting before, I know how this works, and then they'll step in as an admin. There's quite a few people who are in my community who I have like I'm able to look to them to be like, oh man, just so you know, I won't be at the meeting this Friday. Can you just make sure it runs smoothly? And they'll just be like, yeah, sure, no problem, sort of thing. So yeah, I mean that's just an example that as the community even grows, you can begin to like share the workload, but it's not even a workload; it's like a playload. And again, it's your creativity as to how much you really want to invest in it. But at a base level, it's stuff that you could be doing. Like, you know, if it's 11 o'clock at night and you're just browsing YouTube videos, you could be using that time to create your Facebook page and to create your like social awareness and your social like just getting your presence out there, your social media presence. So it's things that don't necessarily have to interfere with your day jobs and stuff like that. It can be things that you just sort of work into and you just sort of move some time around where, like I said, if you're finding yourself with just if you're watching stuff on the internet and just be like, this, you know, like, can I be using my time for something better? Maybe that's where doing some paradigm shift stuff could come into play. And again, it becomes a hobby. Like, it really does become a hobby after a while, because you start to get creative and you start to get feedback, and that's pretty exciting once you start getting feedback too. So yeah. Michael, does that make sense, or does that answer?
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. Currently, right now, I am looking for a job. I'm in between jobs right now, so I'm actually in a perfect position to be able to dedicate full time to start it. But I know that that's not going to be possible in the future once I do find a job. But I think, don't think, do. Doing it, it should definitely be a marriage of what I'm doing anyway. Should be a natural part of it.
Oh, then that's absolutely, like, yeah, if you can integrate it into, like, part of your job or part of your lifestyle already, then yeah, that's ultimately like the goal or something. Yeah. So I mean, like, for me, like, you know, like, when I was a student, I would actually create video projects that would actually be like promotional material for my paradigm shift community. So I was like tying things in related to the community, and it would all just begin to grow together. But yeah, no, again, like, I don't. The paradigm shift communities are simple enough that they don't actually require a heck of a lot of time. But if you do invest a heck of a lot of time, a heck of a lot of yield will come out of it. It's like a garden, I guess, right? But it's everything's like a garden. So does anybody else have another question, or does anybody else have a response that they want to share to that? Like, maybe, like, Kristen and Ariana, like, do you guys find that you're able to sort of, like, begin, I mean, because you guys are just getting started in terms of the managing, but you guys, like, what's it like balancing it for you guys?
Well, for me, I kind of just do it because I work for a group home, so I have a lot of time on my hands at work. So I usually use that time to go on Facebook and promote and, you know, read stuff and, you know, I do that stuff on there. And then, you know, I love to come home and just watch things and educate myself, and I don't know, I guess I juggle both, I guess, pretty good.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, like, you can even think of, you know, what I was saying, like, oh, you're just watching YouTube videos, but if you're, like, actually watching, like, educational YouTube videos, or you're reading books related to your quest for knowledge, then that does tie into the paradigm shift stuff. You know, like, especially, like, if you're already doing a lot of this investigation and asking questions, it makes a lot of sense to be able to, like, take some of those ideas and think about, oh, cool, like, how can I bring this into the next meeting? How can I watch this documentary and then talk about it at the next meeting, so people will be able to get something out of what I've experienced? So yeah, like, I mean, a simple way I've been living my life, like, for a while, like, I don't get bored. Like, getting bored is, like, not something that I do. It doesn't happen. Like, there's no time to be bored anymore. So I would just encourage other people. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, like, I don't know about you guys, but when I was listening to Skull's show, I was like, dude, if I were you, I would go get a master's in business and try to learn this stuff, you know? I'm not joking. I studied those stuff in college. And another thing, dude, when you told me to go and create a community, instead of just simply, like, I remember you did videos before. How about I create, like, real live event hangouts where I would post it up on my YouTube account, which I know how to do, just like how Bonnie always does it, and I promote it. Later on, if someone were to say, hey, I have a community going on my YouTube channel, and do you want to join in tonight? And they say, sure, then bam, I already got one.
Yeah.
And that's, in fact, did you know that from the last time when I built my community, which is Educare the Spiritus Center, with Michael, in fact, we only started out with 2 or 3 people, but then it grew to almost, well, in 3 months, it's already to 30 already.
Yeah. Exactly, and again, like Andy, I think what can be noted as to the success of that is the consistency. Like you guys have a routine. You guys, people who tune in know that they can go there, and it becomes like a part of their. You want paradigm
Yes.
shift communities to become something that people actually get excited about and have them look
Yes,
forward
and
to it
here's
and
the
want to
thing.
invest.
Instead of
That is even.
Now here's another thing. Here's another thing. Like when I did this to Michael, like when we did our webinars, I always create a discussion. When I bring up a discussion, I always bring everyone in, and it's like,
It was just a simple idea.
Sure.
That's how I did. I just tell them to hop on board, and they just go scramming like ants.
Because yeah, like a big part of what these paradigm shift communities are great for is a lot of people just want to be heard. So I mean, the digital online aspect is a big part, and the physical aspect is a huge part of it. One thing that I didn't bring up during the show, but I mean, anybody who you guys are all familiar, but we have like the videos on the website of like inside the paradigm shift community meetings, and I would encourage people to sort of do similar things where they're having their meetings. So I mean, Kristen and Ariana, if you guys have a meeting in the park on you know, and you have like an iPhone on you, don't film like the whole meeting. You don't have to do that because the cameras will affect the outcome of it, sort of thing, and people will, you know, not everyone's super comfortable with that. But at the end, you can just be like, hey guys, you know, like in less than 6 minutes, let's try and summarize what we talked about here today, and then sort of like go around in a circle, and that's what we do with our videos, and that would be something that I encourage the admins to do with their
Dude, Skull.
videos.
By the way,
Yeah.
if you really want to do the videos for community stuff, be sure you edit your videos, please. That is what Skull did, and he got a lot of views. And not only that, write the descriptions, write your titles, and tag your videos. Always Google add your videos before you start putting up the keywords, because that's how I got 400 searches in just like 6 months for like, you know, for the past 6 months of my channel, and I got like 48 subscribers already, or more, and I'm about to hit higher up.
For sure, that's awesome. Guys, I'm gonna step away from the computer just for a bit, and take care of some things. If you guys have questions, though, I would just like bounce ideas around, or just, you know, branch this conversation into anything that you guys want. But yeah, like feel free to branch, like, you know, discuss things as to like how to make stuff work community-wise. So yeah, but yeah, you guys, the power is within the palm of your hands. So you guys know that. Does anybody have any like last question or anything, or?
Not right now.
Live long and prosper.
There we go. Okay, I'll be back, guys. So yeah, you guys know what to do. So keep having fun. But yeah, I'll be back. Okay, and and a reminder that you can like draw mustaches on yourself. Don't forget about that. There's like the draw tool on the side.
Well, I have a mustache.
Feel free. Mustache.
Hey.
Mustache. So.
Hey, I once had glow in the dark
It'd be like a double
that I put in
mustache.
our camp.
All right. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, behave yourself.
Alright, see you, Skull.
See ya. Thanks,
It's
guys.
me, Mario.
I love these hangouts.
I've never done one of these before. There's so many faces.
Well, I meet new people every time we get on here, but you know, meeting the same people each time, it definitely helps because you get used to everybody.
That's awesome. I love feeling connected to people from all over. I used to feel so alone here in Vacaville, but now I have friends all over. It's awesome.
So where's
Yeah.
everybody at? I'm in Bossier City, Louisiana.
Kristen and I are in Vacaville, California.
Wow. Bonnie's in Austin.
I'm in Austin. Yeah, I'm from San Jose, California, but in Austin now. And I have to go study for this huge Qigong test I have that I'm like traveling out of town for. But I love you guys, and
I wish
Oh,
you
good
could
luck,
have
Bonnie.
if I finish,
You're taking the extra mile.
I know. I'm kind of scared.
This is something most people only a couple people did.
Yeah, it's
The real Qigong masters.
a pretty small group of us.
I'm
But,
going to Austin. I swear, I'm going to Austin to hang out with Bonnie and learn the good stuff.
I know you already have me like plotting this like, okay, like Reiki, I can have people come like travel to Austin and we can do Reiki sessions and attunements. Like I don't have to be just Austin. And anyway, it's fun to think about. I really do love how the community is spread out. Like I'm going to Orlando for this Qigong training, and then there's AJ from this community who's gonna be there, and we're gonna hang out. And I just think it's really cool that we can just.
Hey,
that's
Bonnie.
awesome.
Yeah.
When I go up there to live with Andy, seriously, we talked about it.
I'm gonna leave that one alone.
We can do some Qigong and Reiki and paradigm shift free hugs and everything. Michael and Andy have missed, or I don't think you guys have gone to those meetings that they've been having, the paradigm shift meetings. So, yeah.
Wait, which ones?
We've been doing the paradigm shifts meetings Saturdays, but not every Saturday.
We
Spread out.
missed a couple.
Yeah. Anyway, I might be back if I finish getting my homework done. I love you
I
guys.
wish you good luck.
No problem, Bonnie. I hope I'll see you then.
With you.
Andy, check your Facebook
Get
message.
it?
Just
Because
saying.
Qigong is like using
I
the
know,
force.
sweetheart.
Oh, did you just yes me? Okay, I see how it is.
I know, sweetheart. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm the one who's listening, and I know that you're feeling sick because I just create an awakening in you, and now you're just not getting used to it, aren't you?
No comment.
Come on, speak it out to everyone.
Let's have a Dina Andy love session. Have a Dina Andy love circle.
Oh, please, Michael, don't get both of us into this.
What?
Oh, Michael, tell me about your love life.
My love life?
Uh-oh.
I'm handsome. See? See the hand? My love life is on pause.
How come?
It's been on pause for about 2 years or so.
Oh, man.
Why? Why have you put it on pause?
I don't know. Like girls like my age are like I don't know. What I'm looking for is somebody that got on a mustache.
I do.
Wait. Who asked the question?
Christian, you're so
Oh.
music.
I did. I asked how come you put it on pause?
It's been on pause. Well, it's kind of like the kind of relationship I'm looking for in certain things is like really I want, you know, the twin flame. I really want a reflection of myself for, you know, my work, and the girls that are my age, most of them, there's a few. Some of them are into yoga, some of them...
Okay. Excuse me, Michael. Can I just give you a really quick tip? The twin flame... Can I just give you a really quick tip about the twin flame?
Sure.
It's creepy as fuck, man. It's creepy to have your other half.
Well, that's why I want it.
Because it's like, oh, I didn't know you existed. Oh, wait, you existed? Well, you're just like me. Oh, you're just like me? Oh, well then.
Well,
I thought of it more like two very passionate people coming together and sharing their passions. I think it's cool.
Yeah,
that is why.
I mean, that's the
Ariana,
way
you have no.
Yeah.
Ariana, you have no idea who me and Deanna just got into, man. Like seriously,
Yeah,
we're like,
you don't even want to know.
Sorry,
you don't even want to.
because we're like playing. You're playing with a
I like the
hurricane
mustache,
coming right
though.
at you. A hurricane is about to hit you.
Trust me when I say
Rolling
that when you
thunder.
play.
Yes, rolling thunder.
Trust me when I say when you play with fire, you get burned. I'm not
Yup.
saying I got physically burned.
Yeah, but
Yes.
Andy's a water sign, so you guys make steam.
Dude, don't
As
be
an
deceived,
ex-girlfriend once
man.
said
Don't
from
be
long ago.
deceived. When we create a community, we took the community
I'm
by
fire and
storm.
you're water, and together we
Dude.
make steam.
Dude, Michael, don't try to underestimate that. You have no idea because we create our community, we take it by storm.
We do.
Yeah.
We took from Google Hangout, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, Instagram, all sorts of social media. We don't take pictures. We do real stuff that makes people go,
I can see that.
"Oh."
And it helps that I have a friend in England. And it helps that I have friends all over the place. And I'm like always constantly connected with someone. I got friends in Canada, friends in the UK, friends in
Right.
Costa
Monk,
Rica,
I
I
have no
think.
idea what you're referring to, man.
But I just wanted to like finish up that question. She's out there. I know she's out there. I've heard she's in California. You know, probably someone that's, you know, really hippie and free-spirited and metaphysical and esoterical like me, so, you know, and loves anime. I'm sure I'll, you know, find them or they'll find me.
Trust
But
me,
yeah, that's
Michael
why
is
it's been
creepy.
on pause.
Sometimes, Michael,
That's
just
why
like,
it's been on pause.
just
But
like
I don't
how
really
you
care.
wanna-
Like, I don't really have. There was a time where it's just like, oh well, I want to meet them. You know, I want to meet them, but I
Dude,
mean,
Michael,
really,
Michael, if you
Michael.
really, do you
I've
want
got
to
enough
really
stuff to
get your
do.
girl? You want to build a community? Sometimes you have to learn be passionate about your work to the point where you either forget about yourself, you forget about what it means to be sane. I have killed my sanity already when I decided to date with Deanna and decide to build this community that I started with you, man. Come on.
well, I need my sanity, bro.
Thanks, Andy.
I need my sanity.
It's so nice to know that I killed your sanity because I'm
But
pretty
in a
sure
good way,
that's
sweetheart,
what
come
every
on.
girlfriend wants to hear.
But I say it in a good way. If I were to marry someone else, like,
and
You guys
killed
already
my
thought it was
sanity
gross
the
enough
day
when
I
you said I
met
drink
you.
pee.
come on, if I were to marry,
Oh, I need my
if
sanity.
I were to marry another girl, like, let's say Kristen, for example, I wouldn't be that way, you know.
Oh, I see how it is. Okay.
You know, people talk about, oh, you know, I find the beauty in your darkness. Find the girl that finds beauty in me drinking pee.
Good luck. All I
They're
have to
out
say
there.
is you better take Listerine,
I don't.
an
Sure.
antibacterial.
Whoa, Kristen, you gotta be kidding. You're a water sign, and I guess.
I'm just saying. People talk about, you know, I'm natural and let's be natural. And what's more natural?
You're a water sign, huh? I guess, you know, we're the same thing. I'm a
Yeah,
water.
I'm a Cancer.
Oh God, that's even worse.
Yes, I could
my
be
previous-
moody and I could be really nice, but I really like to me too. We could talk and everything, but sometimes when you have a water and fire sign, it's completely different, and he's
Right.
total opposite of me, and you know, it's I don't know.
Are you talking about your husband?
Yeah.
Oh boy,
okay.
Kristen.
Okay.
Oh no.
Water fire.
Because
relationship?
seriously, if you're a Cancer and if you meet a Scorpio, you'll be stung to death.
No. Cancer is actually really close to Scorpio. It's just waters run deep. Like.
Oh really?
They're really,
I just
they're
hope,
really
I just
close.
hope that's the
Cancer's
case, dude.
probably the closest. Some of the Cancers I know are some of the most wise people. They make some mistakes sometimes, but they're some of the most wise people.
Wise, the
that I
three
know.
wise men. Yay! We have the three
Cancer is
musketeers.
wise.
Woohoo!
Yeah,
I'm happy to be a Virgo.
I am pretty wise. When I also went to the psychic they were also telling me that I'm the wise one, that I will be a leader and stuff like that. I'm just like, oh, really?
But
So
they didn't tell
it
you
got
you
me
were a fairy?
excited. Yo, yeah, they did tell me I was a fairy too. Yeah, like there was some type of
Okay.
fairy that they saw, and like they told me to check out the fairy realm, and I haven't checked into it all the way yet, but
Well, you
I
know
want to
there
wait
is
for the
a
right.
hybrid between a
Oh.
wise one and a fairy or an elemental, and you know what they call that?
What?
A leprechaun.
Oh no.
Was
Oh,
I a
Michael. Michael, I don't know if I should tell you guys this, but remember how some of you guys noticed that I'm also a Scorpio and I can lead, right? I found out that that quality of leadership that I found out, it originally came from my bloodline. I used to be a bloodline of the Illuminati that rules our government right now, and I'm one of their shadow sides.
You were part of the
I'm one of
royal
their
family in Zelda?
yup. That I was supposed to be like mass murdering the humans, but I was raised to among the humans, so pretty much I learned to be loving and everything.
Yeah, it's like Goku, man.
So here's
Yup.
something interesting. I'm also a Scorpio, and
Wow, I
the
knew it! I knew
zodiac.
it! I knew it!
So that's a water sign. But what's interesting is that according to the Chinese zodiac, I am a fire tiger. So you have the different Chinese zodiac, which are based on the year, but within those types, you have elemental types associated based on the year. So I was born in 1986, which means I'm a fire tiger, which is the exact opposite of a water sign, which is Scorpio. So that's where I get my name, Scorpion Tiger, water and fire. And I just think it's really interesting. If you look into the Chinese zodiac, compare it to the Western zodiac sign, and you'll learn some interesting things about yourself.
I was just studying
That makes
my
sense.
different signs yesterday, and I found out I've never looked into it really before, and it blew my mind. Have you guys looked into your asteroid signs too, like where Chiron
Asteroid?
and Ceres were? It blew my
I
mind.
have
It was
no idea.
spot on. My Ceres was a retrograde Scorpio, and I read it and I was like, oh, holy crap, that's me.
Well, wait, what sign are you, Ariana?
My sun sign is Aries.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It
We
didn't.
always get some Aries in here.
It never really clicked with me though. It wasn't until I looked at my moon sign and my rising sign that it actually felt like it made more sense.
Well, according to Vedic astrology, the moon is more important because the moon is like the mind, which is more so. And the sun is like, they call it, it's like your soul, but you can't touch the soul, so they're like, they pay more importance to the moon sign and the rising sign to make a person's personality.
Come in.
Okay, so how do you find your asteroid sign? I'm a little confused.
Actually, there's a site. Let me get you the link. It was awesome. Where is it? You put in your exact time that you were born, and it gives you like all of it. Let me find it.
Which is really cool though, Michael. It's just your name is Michael. I knew there was a connection. We have both the same name, the same sign. So I'm gonna say it's both on a similar journey.
I'm November 8th, which is the infinity symbol, like right in the middle. It's really strange, really strange.
Okay, I'm 6 days ahead of you.
Scorpios, I'm biased when I say this.
Hey, wait.
Scorpios are the best.
Okay, so Michael, what day of birth are you born in?
I'm November 8th.
November 8th. And where about you, Michael Pratt?
November 14th.
Okay, I'm October 26th.
Yeah,
5 days away.
You're almost a Libra, bro.
5 days. 5 days before Halloween.
I always thought. See, I always get this charge. Well, I've been getting it lately. These past couple years. Like, I swear you can experience your sign. Like when it comes to this. is especially like after I awoke, but like when I began, like say maybe 2012 or so, and whenever it got around that season at least, I could feel it. So I always felt this interesting feeling around November, even wintertime, but especially like October, November. And then I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense because the constellation is almost like also in line with the season. So I mean, it's really interesting. So I would just feel this rise of like this energy, like say for Scorpio in a sense, this like Hades or like going to the underworld like type of energy. And it's it's not evil or anything, but it's just like a ruling kind of like magnetic kind of energy, and I would just feel it around that time. So it's just like even the same thing with like Aries, like when it's the season of Aries, like I feel really active, and I feel sometimes it's like I need to be working or you know uh, or whatever, getting paid or whatever. But it's just interesting because I felt that with each of the signs and the seasons.
That's awesome. You're in tune.
Oh yeah. Well, isn't that what hip means?
Yeah.
So a hippie is just somebody who knows what's going on.
That's so true.
But yeah, like I don't know. I think from like the metamorphoses that I've gone through, it's like I get it now. Like I get like just like when girls say like they want to be free, like I love to be free just as much. And like it's certain things I have to learn, I guess, as a young Scorpio in training. But like sometimes we can like if we fall for somebody or something, we can like grab them with like our pinchers. So I've learned to, just to let go and just just flow, man, flow with life.
Yeah.
Just because I mean the constant law has changed, so it's just like just take it as it comes.
Learning to let go is not easy, and as emotionless as Scorpios appear on the surface, it is so not true. I mean, that's the exoskeleton that people don't that people see, and they don't believe that Scorpio is even a water sign. But there's a lot of emotions that everyone feels. I'm not trying to talk up the Scorpio. I'm just saying Scorpios are misunderstood. Simply, when you tell someone that you're a Scorpio, they just freak out, first of all, and
like, oh.
So I have a question.
I gotta watch where I'm stepping, man. I don't want to step on the tail.
When did you guys decide that zodiac signs are actually how or what it can really be like? Like, since when was it like designed for like an elemental factor other than like just to show where pinpointed in the sky you could have came from in some form of yourself? I mean, that's the one thing. Like, I'm such a backwards person where like I believe that like your blood type or like something like that can affect like your biometric rhythm or whatever you really want to call it more than anything else, And it's just kind of strange because I feel like people give so much thought and energy to like, oh, this is what someone born this month of the year is supposed to be like compared to that month. But it's like people born on one side of the earth experience seasons in a different time than people on the other side, And it's like it's kind of interesting because I feel like all of us, to a certain respect, can be very kind of emotionless on the surface, but once you like dig underneath, it's kind of more so open and expanded. And like in reality, like
now that I could really think about it, every kind of zodiac sign can really be considered emotionless about some things, you know? And
Yeah, that's true.
it's like, honestly, to me, I just, whenever I hear someone talk about zodiacs, I just want to make them, like, you know, not necessarily brainwash them into believing that they're not true or anything, but just take it with, like, a grain of salt, because it's very important not to stigmatize or put yourself into any confines of, like, what anybody else has told you, because you are your own thought processes, and you are everything around you in a sense, because it kind of creates. So, but that's just, like, sorry, I had to, like, get, like, a little tiny sentence in for some reason. I'm sorry, guys. Continue your conversation.
It's not the end all
I don't
be
even
all.
know you guys, so I'm sorry.
I actually just recently, because I never believed in it. I never believed in it until recently. And I think what really got me interested in it was I took an astronomy class. So I studied the effects of the other planetary bodies in our solar system and how their gravitational pull actually does affect us on our planet. And so I think that it has something to it, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely. But, like, it doesn't mean necessarily that, like, since you're born in July, you're, you know, like, whatever, you know what I mean?
Oh no, that's why I like to study all of the different signs, where the different planets were, because it gave me a bigger picture of kind of what was going on inside of me. And don't take anything in that doesn't resonate with you. Like, that's the key thing. Not everybody's going to fit the template, so only take in what resonates.
I think it's definitely a starting point, because if your sign is the moment that you were born, that's the starting point. And I think it's for people who do kind of feel lost. It's definitely not something to lock yourself into. It's simply a starting point. For me,
it's not to use it like a crutch for self-esteem. Like,
yeah. It's definitely a way to get to know yourself better, and it's not meaning that the horoscopes that you find in the newspaper will be able to predict who you are or anything like that. I have my own astrological birth chart here that you can get, and it's just, I don't know, it does resonate with me, and it not only, when you get a good astrological birth chart, it doesn't just tell you who you are, it also tells you how you can, I guess, break the mold. It teaches you things and ways of thinking as well, at least a good birth chart.
Yes. And here's the thing, guys. When I look up some of your astrology stuff, concepts, I found out that the reason why the paths are the way they are and why you're born in that day has a lot to do with what you did in the past life. You realize that, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of it. I think you actually choose your sign.
I chose this. I chose this challenge in between. You know, when I was connected to Source, I chose this life.
But you go through an amnesia, like right when you come out of the womb.
Yeah.
Right. But here's the thing: it's not because you.
That's what sucks.
It's not what the ego is. It's not that the ego cannot remember. It's just because the ego disintegrates itself, you know, and it reintegrates somewhere out there. And then after that, it becomes you today. And like, if you guys want to know like about my past life, or about why in the world did I create this community, or with Michael, or with...
Well, why don't we share past lives?
Sure, but I'm not gonna tell mine. You guys will get goosebumps if you do.
How about instead of, or maybe we could guess one another's.
You could do that.
Oh, sure. Alright, let me see here. I will choose to guess Christian first, right?
Okay.
I think it's... Yeah.
You're an healing. Okay,
what?
or...
You were a mushroom.
I'll try Ariana first then.
Oh.
Okay, let me see here.
A toadstool.
Alright, try to talk to me. Alright, Ariana, try to talk to me for a while. and see what happens.
Okay. I don't know what you're talking about now. I haven't actually delved into my past life yet. I'm excited to, but I have a lot of trauma from this life that I'm still trying to heal. So I feel like I need to get this life figured out first and then delve further. But I kind of think maybe going back to my past lives might help me deal with the traumas. So I don't know.
Can I just say something? I just want to say this.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
It's kind of a general opinion or input. If you look at a Rubik's Cube and has all the different colors on it, and you're supposed to solve it to get all the colors on one side. Well, let's think of a Rubik's Cube, but it's inverted. So all the colors are on the outside, and we are like in the very center of it. I think of the stars as each their own color, and of course there's more than the colors that we see in just the visual in the what we see. So there's colors beyond infrared, there's colors beyond ultraviolet, so each star kind of has its own energy signature. And the moment we're born, it's almost like a 3D combination lock Rubik's Cube matrix thing. And so everyone's point in space combined with how the stars are aligned kind of gives us a certain energy signature. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of how I think of the stars and the star system.
That's awesome. Gave me like a warm feeling when you were saying that.
I can shed some light on the past life situation.
Ooh.
I know of my most recent life, and I was a monk in a previous life, and a lot of that has carried over into this life, and so a lot of what I learned in that life is carried over, and it's just part of remembering not just who I was, but remembering the lessons that I learned.
That's awesome.
And, you know, that's I've been monk for such a long time, and then it was just reaffirmed. Hey, you were a monk in a past life. I was, really? That's awesome. I already knew that.
That makes so much sense. Because when I went and did this thing that was called theta healing that my friend Jennifer had, I was going to her for like some like intimate issues, like, and when I went to her in certain things, she's like, well, you've had this celibate contract for I don't know how long. I said, damn, that makes sense. She was like, well, would you like to cut this vow? I was just like, oh yeah, you know, I want to have some joy in my life.
Yeah.
I didn't come here to be a monk twice, you know, but
I actually just
it's interesting.
Oh.
Okay, so.
Well, not necessarily a monk. I know. I'm pretty sure from my Akashic Records reading that I was a samurai warrior and a couple lives ago.
Alright.
So I guess they use the whole celibate vow too. So.
Sorry, I got out of the chat.
That's why I always love Star Wars, you know.
So can you continue on talking, because I sense that you are a little shy to talk to me.
Yeah, I'm not really. I am a bit shy. I'm working on getting over that. I don't know what you want me to talk about. Oh, I just remembered though. A few years ago, I've had a couple different people tell me this, and the one that I remember the most, I was actually on mushrooms dancing in the redwood forest in Santa Cruz, having a wonderful time, and somebody came up to me and just grabbed me. This woman, she went, "You were a belly dancer in a past life," and then she like disappeared. And I've had a couple people tell me that, so I really want to learn how to belly. I think I would be good at it. I miss dancing.
She would.
Yeah, that's
when
awesome.
you get messages like that, it's usually spirit speaking through other people.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of weird when it comes like that. It's usually angels or your guides or whatever, but when you get messages like that, they're usually on point.
Yeah.
I know, but here's what I noticed. When you told me that story, and you were dancing, envision a young girl who has like this beautiful hair and everything, but all she does is she's like a jungle girl where she only has leaves as part of her clothing, and she was just a free-spirited girl, but whenever she met an outsider, she just hides behind the forest. Am I correct?
That sounds actually pretty spot on.
Yes.
That's
because
cool.
I've seen jungle people tend to do that a lot.
Yeah.
And they behave like.
You know, I grew up in the redwood forest, so I used to play like in the trees when I was a kid and like running around, and you just feel different when you're in the woods. I don't know, it's a whole other world.
Well, a forest is different than a rainforest.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go to the rainforest. Oh, I want it so bad.
Now, considering that we are multi-dimensional beings, we've touched on this conversation before. If we're multi-dimensional beings, there's a good possibility that right now the life that you're leading is connected to another life that you're leading on another plane of existence and another dimension. So,
Yes.
I was talking to someone earlier, and I was like, for all I know, I could be talking to myself right now, and this is my spirit in this body, and I'm leading another life. So all I know, I could be talking to myself at the same time.
It is.
That's very interesting and awesome. Yeah, I love it.
Now, to those of you who already know my past life, please keep silent. To those of you who don't know my past life, try to guess mine now.
Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You were an earthworm.
Were you a leader of some sort? You had a lot of influence over a large number of people?
Yes, I do. But not quite a leader that you think of.
Just you go ahead and tell them, Andy.
Okay, let me tell you a little story about my little life, and try to envision what I'm saying, and then try to picture it out. My story started out when I was 3 years old. I haven't learned how to talk for the past 3 years because I don't know why in the world do I need to talk, or felt like I need to communicate with people because I felt like the world is so scary. I felt like the world has betrayed me, and so I just want to close myself off. Why communicate? It wasn't until one day my mom, who is until my intimate, came to talk to me in a different language, and I learned to speak my first word at 3 years of age. A couple months later, I carried on a whole conversation, and then a couple months later, I began to start picking up the microphone and start singing on my own. And at first, I don't even learn I don't know why I didn't walk, because I felt like my body moved when I walk. I like to walk because I want to one day explore the world the way I want to see. And so, because of that, I need to walk at age 4. And then by the time I get to about to hit age 5, that's when I started running and do all of that on my own. All the things I do it by myself, and my interests are meditation. I like staying myself in the dark. I have tons of nightmares in life. So, can anyone guess who I am? Or do I have to tell you anything? Or keep asking questions?
You are the Batman.
Nope.
Hey guys, I'm Batman.
Tony! Oh, thank you for coming in here, man.
Oh, I had a past life I was going to share. Just whenever.
Okay then.
I'm Batman.
Can anyone
Well,
Go ahead and tell them. Go ahead and tell them, Andy.
still give everyone a chance to guess. This is still a game.
Well, I can't think of anything.
Trust your heart.
I've gotta go, guys.
Fate decide.
I'm really sorry. I enjoyed talking to you guys.
All right, bye, Ariana.
Oh wait, Ariana. You
Yeah?
can find me on Facebook if you're interested.
Yeah.
I'm on Facebook.
Yeah, everybody post a link if you
Michael
feel like
Pratt.
it.
Yeah, I'll put mine up before I leave. Let me get that right now.
Yes, please. I will find you.
Don't be creepy, Andy. I'm scared to fish away.
But can you guys guess who I am?
I'm completely lost as to who you were, Andy. The possibilities are endless.
Montarch from the planet Glibnadar.
Okay, let me bring out my dark counterpart that is part of my past life. Let's see how you guys guess that.
It's a pretty dog, Michael.
His name is Hero.
It's beautiful.
Alright,
All right.
so
He's telling me he wants to go outside.
Aww.
guys are playing Shadow right now. This game where you're going to figure out my past life. This one, the only difference is you're going to talk to my shadow self right now.
Bless you.
Yes, you.
Now, here,
Bless you.
Andy, but I mean, it's kind of dragging out, man. To get to everybody,
Yeah, that's
it
true.
needs to be a little bit more briefer.
well in our way.
We can't start out from when you're like 3 to, we're still when you're at like 5 years old,
Let's see if y'all can figure out who I am while you're thinking on his.
Yes,
Bless you.
What I'll do is I'll tell you mine, and while I'm telling you mine, then you can think about what Andy's is.
I am Falcor.
Well, the nearest I can tell.
Okay,
It was this Sorp tech on Glabnarak 5 in the Predacortis system, and I'm pretty sure I was part of the Amloralish alliance, but it was short-lived due to the Grogafurge Treaty that basically brought all the Sorp techs together under one Doggle.
Are we supposed to be guessing? Because I'm lost again.
Wait, say that again.
Go ahead and finish, Andy. I'll go ahead and do mine after yours.
Alright,
It's
so,
actually a joke.
alright,
No, I said it was from... Yeah, absolutely, go for it. Okay. Alright. I guess he had to go away from the keyboard for a second. Alright. I'll try to get this out again. Alright. Now on Glabnarak 5 in the Predacortis system, I'm pretty sure I was part of the Imla-Rorsch Alliance. But it was short-lived due to the Gualgafurch Treaty that basically brought all the Sorp techs together under one Doggle.
That totally sounds
so
like mythology.
you were on another star system.
Exactly. I have no
I
idea.
told you were a star person.
But that's a possibility. There's a possibility. Some of our past lives could have been in the future, and some of our future lives might have been in the past. And it might not even been on this planet. Possibly, quite possibly. It could have been like in another star system, in another solar system. The infinity is
I
infinity.
believe so.
So, really, when you get right down to it, yeah, I might have lived some other past lives on this planet. I know, for one, I'm pretty sure I was burned at the stake. But I had a good
You really
life.
resonate with, Wicca,
Yeah, definitely. And I think at one time I might have been a druid as well. But yeah, there's also Glabnarak 5.
Glabnarak?
Those are all names I just made up, by the way.
You know, it was interesting. Well, the same one that I told you that I thought you were, Kristen said she was a wise one.
Oh, wow.
But I said from the first time I looked at her, I knew she was a fairy.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, how did you know, or what went off in your mind on like she was a fairy? Like, what is your?
It's got to be those purple and blue wings that you have behind you.
I don't see that.
It's a feeling that you get like maybe 5-10 minutes within meeting a person.
Yeah.
Or fairy in this instance. You just radiate this joyfulness that try to stop smiling.
I can't.
Exactly.
I mean, just try to make a serious face. If you can't make a serious face, then you're a fairy.
Yeah, I guess so.
But I told her, do you know, because, you know, she said she was a wise one, so I was just like, well, I could have swore that you were an elemental, so I was like, well, do you know what they call the hybrid between an elemental and a wise one?
No. What, didn't you say a gnome?
Like a leprechaun.
Oh, yeah, a leprechaun, yeah. So is that good though? Because usually leprechauns are like ugly. Like, are there pretty leprechauns?
I think just because we're.
I think you're thinking the goblin. The goblins are ugly.
Oh, okay.
Like my grandmother, like she grew up with these stories. I'm pretty sure she believes in them because she doesn't like it when I mention it. They call it a little bit different in Spanish. But in Venezuela, like people, like especially like little kids, like they used to see like these little men with like hats. Like they could be like kind of chubby, and you know like maybe 3-4 feet tall with you know hats. And they call them the gnomes. But there's this other one that they call the duende, and like she freaks out to the thought of hearing it. Like she gives me this really serious face, and she's like, "Nada de eso," you know. And because the duende are more so, they are more so the goblins, and I think the goblins are probably the ones you're thinking about that are really ugly. No disrespect to the goblins, but the goblins would be because they're really just mischievous spirits, whereas the leprechauns, they're always the ones looking for gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think it could be that bad.
Jessica said that they like beer and chocolate too much, but I don't like beer, but I like chocolate, so...
Yeah, you'd be like a pixie. You have it. I'm saying, like, you have the nose.
I have a pointy
You
nose.
have everything. You have it.
You know...
Wait, let's see. Okay. Can you keep a serious... They make people do this in the ROTC in the military. Can you keep a straight face?
Who, me?
A serious face? Try your best serious face.
I usually can't, but I could try.
Okay, let's see this.
Be serious.
She put the lime in the coconut.
I mean, that's probably like as long as I can hold it.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Yeah, like when I was young and stuff, I could never lie because my mom would always know that I'm lying because I would always have this smirk or smile on my face, and then I would just giggle, and my mom would just like, I know you're lying, and I'm just like, I know I can't lie, you know, and like that's why I always tell the truth to people, and I always speak the truth and stuff like that. So, yeah, I've never really been a liar, so.
Well, that's good. I mean, keep it real, you know.
Yeah.
But the wise ones. The wise ones are a bit more serious. I think it's I want to say it's the star people. I think
I can be serious in certain situations, you know, when it has to be serious. But
it has to be serious, right?
Yeah, usually
but it's
I try.
Not your natural state.
No.
So I'd say yeah. Like the people that are just 100% star people, I think those are the people. Because that's like Mr. Spock. Like, straight.
Illogical.
That's why, which I know I'm part star person, but I think I have to have some funny somewhere, wherever it came from, because I don't even like to listen to people that are 100% like iceberg, you know. It's just like there's no laughs, there's no giggles. It's just like, stop taking yourself so fucking seriously.
At the same time, if they're never serious, then how can you ever take them seriously?
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
If you want a good example of an elemental thing, Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Ellen DeGeneres. Eddie Murphy. You smile just thinking about these people.
I know you didn't put a banana in my tail pack.
There's a big rat. Hey, can I come over? No. There's a very big rat. There's let's see.
Hercules.
Surprisingly, I would have thought Paris Hilton would be an alien, but Paris Hilton's one of them.
You're saying
I don't know how good of a name she gives them.
You're saying she's from another galaxy, another species.
I would have thought.
Wow.
But she's an elemental.
She does.
Julia Roberts. Yep, elemental.
I don't know. I just thought of something.
I got a
That's why I
thing for
said,
them.
wow. Including my zodiacal sign from the Greek wheel, the Chinese zodiac sign, my star sign, the mystic star, and then like, wow, my Indian totem. I'm like everything at once.
Well, they say the Native Americans came from Pleiades to help protect the Earth. You know that book that I have?
Oh,
Return of the Bird Tribes?
Oh, okay,
That's what they say in that book.
I just never have like labels because it to me it limits, but it also, you know, I can understand it like on a soup can. You know, you want to find out what's inside, but
that's the same thing.
I can talk and express myself, so you know.
True. Well,
but yeah, I mean
I
understand the boxes and everything, but don't put me in no box.
Right. Well, it was the same thing. Like, you know, like
you saying
said, like,
Native Americans are OG starseeds?
Yeah.
Well, I was saying like
OG starseeds.
You wanna make sure what's in the soup before
original galaxy boys.
before you eat the soup, you want to make sure you know what's in the soup. So I think it's the same kind of thing. It's like, but the truth is, like, say when a person passes on, say somebody from the fairy realm or something, and then whenever they pass on, they get to experience themselves with wings and everything, flapping around, and they get to actually see where they truly come from. So I think in that sense, it's part of knowing thyself. It's not really a label. It's just I don't want to say a tool, but
so it's almost like knowing where you, basically just like you said, knowing where you came from, your roots. But
yeah.
But you also have like, how many different places have you came from? You have
That's
the
true.
how long has the soul been incarnating, and how many different places have you been?
Well, otherwise,
most
if you
recently,
want,
Kristen was in the
if you want, you can just be a clusterfuck.
Wait, what? I'm sorry, I was looking at something else.
I said souls might not necessarily, there's like,
right.
the soul is infinite, so yeah, it could be a clusterfuck, but at the same time, it's like Kristen, that one of her previous lives was more than likely from the fairy realms, or she like chilled in the fairy realms for a while, and obviously you, Michael, have chilled in the Pleiades, and I more than likely have as well, but that doesn't mean that's all of it.
No, it's not all.
But that's just a way you can get to know a little bit of yourself. So yeah,
and
it's a tool.
that's all it really is for.
Right.
I think because it's just so cool, because you get to see like the realms like that you're truly from.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't limit anything. But they say, because it's essentially made up of the same thing. Every being is pretty much just made of a divine spark. So it's the same thing in the fairies, it's the same things in the extraterrestrials. It's not the same thing as the Rockefellers.
I wonder how long we've been incarnating before this solar system or this galaxy was formed. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, how infinite is infinite.
Well, who's to say that we didn't come from another galaxy before this galaxy was even born?
Absolutely.
This single consciousness. Who's to say when consciousness was ever even spawned? Surely consciousness wasn't. Surely it was in existence way before this Earth.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
That sounds logical.
Who's to say that right now at this very moment you're not leading multiple lives on other galaxies?
Yeah.
Well, I know I do a lot of work in the dream world. More than sex. I mean, I know I do help people and shit. Like, I mean, and I've heard that about other people. Like, what they do is, like, they'll travel like places where it's like really needed, like in the Middle East areas, and like basically do what you do here, but in the dream world. Like, for instance, when a person passed on that was a friend of mine, she had like a really traumatic life, but I was able to do Reiki on her on the other side wherever she was, and it helps her on a soul level. I believe so. So the energy transference is still the same. I mean, it really like love and energy and all that, like, really knows no distance. I remember, I think I told you guys. I remember there was one time I had a girlfriend. She got mad at me because she lived in a distance. She lived. Okay, she lived like as far as about like Tony is from me. But like she'd get mad at me because like I'd be like having fun with dream women or women in the dream world, but everything between me and her was just, over the phone. So it's just funny because it still bothered her in the sense. I mean, probably even more than like watching porn or something. So it's funny because even though it's not, I mean, in a sense, it is real. Just on another level or another plane.
Well, yeah, if you think about it, there could be some like energy transference there as well. And is that cheating?
See, that's what I was saying. I was just like, well, I don't think it's cheating because I'm dreaming.
Right? It's not physical, but I mean, there's still the astral. There's so I don't know. I never really thought about that until you brought it up just now.
Yeah.
Right.
I sort of have an experience on that. What was like?
You cut out.
Yeah.
She froze up.
And she was about to go in too.
Cut out.
Yeah, she'll come. She'll come back. Oh, by the way, Tony, did you see what I sent you? I watched the whole movie again today, but I sent you. I said Tony would love this.
Oh,
that movie.
I don't think
Wedding.
I have. Oh no, I haven't, but I'll have to check it out.
It's an awesome movie. But if you know nothing about like Crowley, then like you'd probably be like, this movie kind of sucks, man. But oh, it's a cat.
We totally missed what you said, Kristen.
Yeah, you should say that again.
Yeah.
What did I say?
It was about relationships.
Oh.
You're like, you could add on that or something.
About relationships and stuff?
Well, we were talking about lucid dreams.
It was the mic. It was kind of choppy, so I couldn't really hear a lot.
Okay, no, like we were talking about lucid dreams and certain things, and then you're like, I have something I could add on to that or share about that.
Oh, okay. I was saying that I've had a really.
Oh wow!
This is
deja vu.
Karen does not want her to tell this story.
Absolutely not. It don't seem like it.
Oh, there she is.
There you go.
Hear it again.
Something is keeping you from telling us what you want to say.
Every time you start, it's like, okay, it's.
Well, it was a past relationship and stuff, so I had that connection with that person again, and it felt really real, and I connected with him in a different way than ever before, and so like it was just a weird feeling, and but also a good one. And like it was also like a sex dream as well, and but I've had multiple where it's just been that connection or it's just a sex dream. But like I feel it outside after I'm up on my physical world. I'm like I still feel that within myself, and I'm wondering if that other person has had that same dream or I guess have felt the same way. So.
Wait, but all of this was astral, right?
Yes. Like it felt like I was living it. It was real, and I felt that connection.
You didn't have to put in any effort.
No.
Oh wow.
Can I just be honest?
Yeah, then
I think.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
I think, and this is probably going to be an unpopular opinion, I think monogamy is a trap. It's a trap. Not in the sense that when you make a promise to someone that you should break it, but from my perspective, if you're getting to know self, and self is also an aspect of the universe, isn't monogamy a trap? I mean, it just seems like a trap to me. That's just me, though.
I can't.
Does everyone hear me?
Yeah. Actually, I was just thinking about it. I kind of agree with you, though. Actually, in a way. So just
makes
at
sense.
least for a reply. That's not the complete reply, but it's at least a reply.
Not in like the promiscuous sense, but just having the freedom to let what happens. Not to say like, you know, a person who cheats. I don't feel like it's the act of cheating. It's the act of lying to someone is what makes it bad.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you're with someone and they're on a spiritual journey and you get them and you are open with them and you have that open aspect, then being open to other energies, whether it's on the astral realm or the physical realm, if it happens, wouldn't that just be another aspect of getting to know self, or is that just like my own delusion?
Well, because you're learning from all these different souls. So, because to me, it's not just a physical act, but it's like you're getting knowledge, kind of like uncovering mysteries whenever you have sex. So I would say that, I know I'd say at least for me, like, you get knowledge through this. So even in the dream world and certain things, it's like you're learning and getting teachings from all these different souls that you've merged with. And not necessarily in a promiscuous way, but like I said, like being free-spirited and all that. It doesn't limit you to what you can learn.
Yeah, I agree with that. But yeah,
but
I have something on my mind that I'm trying to get out, but I can't think of how to formulate it. Believe it or not.
Formulate it.
Put it in words. Okay. Yes, I think that it's that a lot of it has to do with a society, not as much being, but more along the lines of society. And I suppose that if you was responsible about the energies that you shared with different people, and that they shared with you, and you was careful about it, I don't think it would be that big of a deal. But as far as like whenever you fall in love, quote unquote, you get that spiritual union feeling. That's not just to me. That's not just a once in a lifetime thing. I also don't believe in soulmates. I believe that there's more than one soulmate, if I do believe in soulmates at all, because I think that, well, everybody's soulmates when you get right down to it. We're all from the same source, so we have to be soulmates.
Right. And that's what I'm saying is if the idea of soulmates is romanticized and we think of soulmates as only being romantic love, I think that is the way that's taught is just a crime, to not teach the true spiritual nature of the soul. It prevents people from having that kind of connection. And because I've definitely fallen in love with more than one person. It's made me question, okay, well, what is love? I realize this, that every love is different, every relationship is different. It's like a fingerprint. And I do believe that there can be more than one soulmate. And even though I've gotten mad at people before, I say I don't want to see you again. Weeks later, months later, I still have that feeling of love for them, and that sucks.
Know exactly what you mean.
It just doesn't go away. It does not go away.
No, it doesn't.
And I strongly regret being so emotional, negatively emotional, and letting that get the best of me because,
So like you feel like you want to apologize to them?
Right, and in a sense, on the physical plane, you can't, because once you say something, it's kind of done, you know, especially when they aren't as forgiving. And every time I've
I
made
know what you
decisions
mean.
like that, whether it's friendship or romance, I regret it every fucking time. And I just feel like that's the interconnectedness that not everyone feels or acknowledges, but it has to do with the soul. And people can be careless. I've been careless with sex before because I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just have sex, forgetting the fact that, oh, those are two souls intertwining and that connection will be there forever. It was there before, it will be there afterward. And that's why I believe in the idea of spiritual polygamy, polyamory.
Forever and ever.
Forever and ever.
It's like the obsessed girlfriend is like, well, don't worry, we're gonna be here forever and ever and ever. and I know I definitely know what you mean. I think that at first it starts out with another person just showing you how deeply you can love, but I think the big picture is expanding that love to everyone in a sense. It's just like, like they say in The Grinch, his heart grew 3 sizes that night. I think that's really what it is you're just growing together. And I think that's truly what love is.
Well, that's pretty much what my my cover page on Facebook says. It's a quote from Einstein.
Yeah. Okay. I think I've seen that. I think I've checked that out.
I don't think I can pull it up right now because I'm on Google Chrome and Internet Explorer don't get along too well.
I guess they don't. But I think that's really what it is. I mean, because if it's a competition thing, it's always from an ego thing. So if you hear a girl, or I guess even a guy, but for instance, let's just say like a girl or something, and it's just like she's comparing relationships, but she's like, well, the one that she's with now, has a bigger size or whatever than the previous one, and so it's just like a plus, and it's just kind of like keeping a scoreboard or whatever. But it's just like all these things aren't really as big as if, does the person really care? It's just kind of like a little upgrade, like a little plus, like, okay, a thumbs up if he or she has this, if he or she has this, or she has nice looking breast or whatever, and it's like a thumbs up. But when it really comes to when the person's like a person falls down or something, busts their ass or something, and the person's like, unless they're a prankster or something, either they laugh or maybe they laugh and then help pick the person up. But in essence, I'm just saying that they truly appreciate, truly care for that person, and truly want to do what's best to help that person grow. And I think that goes above everything. The size, the shape, the beauty, because I'm saying these are just things on the surface, but like truly what's deeper down is like the true story, if that makes sense, or fairy tale.
Yeah. Like my husband, even though sometimes we might not agree on some things, you know, but I feel like I'm here to teach him and for him to grow and awaken, and because he hasn't gone down, I guess, the path that I have. So,
Right.
to him, and it's been working, I guess. I've been helping him with his diet. I that I know that I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I got that quote from Einstein, if y'all want to hear it. It says, a human being is part of the whole called by us the universe, a part limited in time and space. He is experiencing himself, or he or she is experiencing himself or herself, their thoughts and feelings as something separated from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of their consciousness. This delusion is a kind of prison for us, restricting us to our personal desires and to affection for a few persons nearest us. Our task must be to free ourselves from the prison by widening or our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty.
Oh, wow.
That's wonderful. Wonderful.
See, Einstein was into the metaphysics, man.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, kind of laid the groundwork. I mean,
Oh, yeah, well,
well, he did.
A lot of his
Even
formulas
with quantum physics, right?
I don't know. I don't think he did. Well, kinda. He like the E equal MC squared thing. That's like
Yeah.
measurement of the speed of light, and
Speed of light. Yep.
but I don't
Hey,
know
what
if
is
that would
what
really
is
be
E
quantum
equals
physics.
MC squared backwards? There's something cool that's in that movie, but I just wanted to ask you, what is E equals MC squared backwards?
It's like
Do you know, Tony?
2 centimeters equals to energy.
No. What is it?
Creation.
To come?
Creation of matter into thin air.
Oh, sweet.
That's in that
God.
movie. That's in that movie. You gotta check it out.
So, yes, to those
This
of
is
you
basically
who,
the same thing, you know, when people use the pentacle or the pentagram, those certain things, and people will point it up.
okay,
Well, it's
guys.
like the same thing as just like you're drawing either energy from the cause, or they say when the point is up, you're releasing energy into the cosmos. They say when it's pointed down, like inverted, is that you're actually drawing the energy towards you. I never knew that.
Huh. I had
Okay,
never
I
guys.
was like, well, oh, okay, that makes sense when people are so scared of the inverted pentagram.
Right.
But then again, it is kind of that chaos principle, because it's just like you're flipping, you know, up into down.
Yeah. Yeah, basically, the top point of the pentagram is spirit, akasha, source, and the bottom four, I guess is what you've got to call them. Bottom 4 points, those are representative of the different elements. And it depends on whether or not you're talking about Western esoteric tradition or Eastern, because Eastern is different. Because it's
well, they do the same thing, except it's based on, you know, the elements, you know, they use water, but
they got
instead
metal,
of air,
metal and wood.
Metal and wood, right?
Yeah. Instead of what ones? I don't know that.
Yeah, water, fire, metal, earth, and tree or wood.
Okay, so they don't really have spirit, but they've got metal, which is like a tempering process, I think. Or they might consider.
Well, when you combine them
they might
together, I think
fire
it makes
spirit.
ether.
Interesting. But yeah, I've looked into the Eastern traditions as far as the different elements go to see, you know, if they might be more accurate.
Wait, when, Kristen, when did you say you were born? What year?
What year I'm born?
The last digit is a 4, isn't it?
I was born June 27th, 1988.
Let's see.
Is that what you wanted to know?
88. Hang on. Okay. Okay.
Oh,
Okay. Let me do this. Okay.
Chinese zodiac.
0 and 1 is metal. 2 and 3 is water. 4 and 5 is tree. 6 and 7 is fire. 8 and 9 is earth.
Earth. That makes sense. Elemental.
Okay, that would make sense if she's the earth sign. Those fire signs, man, you have to watch out. They get burned.
Sometimes the fire can dull the personality, you know, I guess.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's on the good thing about it. I mean, like, instead of anger, it can be expressed into passion. If a person is like really boring, which for some reason the water people have been stereotyped to be, I guess. At least for the fire people, the fire people can help liven, or you know, they're about
So which one's 0?
lighting up the show, I guess, man. Example for the fire people.
What was
like
the first
live
one you?
concert?
What was the first one you said for 0, 1?
Metal.
Metal. That's what mine is.
How do I know? See, now that makes sense because you're always saying, you know, you don't say this. I tell you this, but I don't say this to many people, man. You know, like with you singing or rapping or whatever it is. But when you say like you're the perfectionist,
oh
like,
yeah,
even if your ass is clean, like, and you know it's clean,
tempered steel.
Like you just wipe just one more time just to make sure. See, that's the metal.
That's funny.
The metal people are the people that like if you messed up, like they're gonna ask you like to do it again. You know.
Oh yeah.
Or you know.
Yeah. Well, I have.
But they're really helpful.
Be on myself about that because you can create some beautiful works of art and creations, but at the same time you have to finally say that's good enough.
Yeah, like you said, you know, you're just like, you know what, I worked on this for hours. That's good enough.
Yeah, you finally have to. You absolutely have
to. I've walked along this park, and I've picked up every damn cigarette. There's still some more.
But that's good enough.
But that's good enough.
Clean the house. I still see stuff that could be done, but that's good enough.
That's good enough.
Yeah,
because metal's really good for makes really good teachers. You look at an example. Bruce Lee was metal.
That explains a lot.
You know, he's definitely gonna
Bruce Lee is probably
do that again.
Liquid metal.
Liquid metal.
He was a mix between fire and metal, but he got the whole water philosophy because he had too much fire in him, and his teacher was actually water, and Bruce Lee needed to be like water. See, the interesting thing is because I wanted to follow that philosophy so much, and like I wanted to practice it, and like I was just like, I want to be like water. I want to be like water. But then I just got the idea, like it just came in my head, or somebody told me, you're already water. You're enough water. You got enough water. You need some fire. You know. You need. And it's just like, okay, well, Bruce needed that because he had too much anger, you know, in him, so he needed to be like water, you know, just chill out, man.
Well, also, what Bruce Lee's idea of water was, you know, because yes, it can fit in any container, and it'll take the shape of that container, but
you want me to do the voice?
No, that's fine. But the water can either flow or it can crash. The Grand Canyon was created by water. I don't think it was being like the Grand Canyon. You know, it cut the Grand Canyon. So in that sense, water can be a consistent shaper of material. Just like the Sphinx, the raining on the Sphinx was done one raindrop at a time, but it eroded something. It eroded it, you know, and mountains for that matter. They're eroded by water, and you know, the older the mountain is, the more they look like hills. And because the Rockies, they're actually a young set of mountains, and that's why they're so jagged. But through time, weather will smooth them out. So in that essence, water can be used as, you know, a subtle way of transformation and change, where you can where it can also take the shape of the container that it's in, but at the same time, water can flow smoothly, or it can crash. You know, so water is definitely a versatile element that he really understood a lot more than I did when I first started.
Okay, can I do the voice now?
No, you can do the voice.
Okay. All right. Just give me a minute. I said empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put water in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow, or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
That's awesome.
That is a pretty good impression.
Let's also remember that fire is not the only element that can burn. When water is ice, it can also burn.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see that in the book. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's true.
But fire is not always just something that burns. It's also an element of expansion. Of like basically, whenever you are sitting there in meditation, fire is very helpful because it expands the mind. Its expansive quality that it has. That's why I guess it's a transformational type of element as well. Transformation where it changes everything back to its base parts. Like whenever you burn wood, for example, you know, you still have the matter there, but it's just in a different form, like ash. So.
Oh yeah, I mean it's not evaporating. You know, it could hold the fire.
Yeah. But yeah, all the elements really, I think it's a.
But it could
cool
also
idea
burn a whole forest.
You know, to really just like think deeply about all the elements that we know, instead of just like thinking of water. Water, you know, you use that for purity. You know, you can drink it, but you think about all the different things that water can do in all its different forms, like erosion, cutting the Grand Canyon, and then go on to different stuff too, like air. What qualities does air have? You know, is it just when we breathe it? You know, we're meditating. When we meditate, we breathe, and there's that air. So it actually is something that is like it's movement. It's
That's interesting. I was gonna say, like, because I heard this one time on a radio show, and it was basically saying, like, say if I ask you, say, Kristen or Tony or Michael, we have to pay for water. What do you think about that?
I think that's ridiculous.
Now, what if somebody came up and told you that you had to pay for air?
Yeah, that would really suck. It sucks that we do have to pay for water.
It sucks that we have to pay for air too.
Yeah.
You ever heard
like,
the carbon tax? That's what that is. They're taxing you because you're breathing.
Oh.
That's what the
you
carbon
need a whole lot
is.
of breathing in yoga.
It's like, excuse me, I think I know a lot more places where they're getting CO2, carbon gases, besides just me exhaling carbon dioxide, you know. I mean, the trees could use that anyway. That other type of stuff that they're pumping through the steam pipes, trees can't use that. So
People
talk to the trees.
I mean, a good portion of people don't even breathe. Well, I'm not everybody, because people have definitely became a lot more conscious of it, but like the average person, I mean, breathes like 18 breaths per minute.
I don't know. Sounds good.
Oh no, I'm saying that's what I read. You know,
that sounds about right.
Alright, so can you guys hear?
Yeah, hang on, Andy. But basically, I mean, you need these to be doing the daily rituals of living.
Right.
You need to be able to breathe. If you're doing pranayama, you need to be able to breathe. If you're doing meditation, you need to be able to breathe. If you're doing yoga, you need to be able to breathe. If you're doing life, if you're having sex, you definitely need to be able to breathe. If you don't breathe, it'll probably be over before you know it.
Yeah, just being on that journey. Just being on that journey, you need to be able to breathe.
Just to be on a journey, you need to be able to breathe.
The human body is definitely the amalgamation, I'm glad I said that word, of all the elements. But if I were to pick another element that consciousness is related to, not necessarily spirit, because I do think there's a slight difference between the two. Consciousness, the human consciousness, for me, is most like a flame. It's most like fire, because from where the fire is burning, it's like from one state into another, yet fire is kind of its own thing, but it's the thing in between two states, which is kind of like consciousness. It's the in-between. So what is consciousness in between? It's in between the past and the future. And when you think about it, if consciousness is linked to spirit intimately, then there's no such thing as time. There's just consciousness. And this is what I'm trying to tell people, that time on Earth is an illusion in that sense, because if the universe is like a gigantic spiritual brain, time is completely relative. There's only now, and this illusion of the time loops. And I personally liken Mother Earth, in relative to humans, Mother Earth and the core of the planet is our future, and we look to the sky as the past. And then for Earth, the future would be the sun, because that's kind of the gravitational pull for that. And then you go into spirals and fractals. But if you look at a flame and the piece of wood that it's burning from, it's the opposite. And if we're thinking of that as consciousness, then the wood would be the past, because the consciousness is rising from what it knows, the past, into the air, which is the future. So it's kind of flipped. That metaphor is flipped based on how I perceive the illusion of time. But that's
that makes sense.
Okay, so
I like that.
So yeah, to those of you who are still here and would like to try, who haven't guessed my past life yet.
Oh, that was way better.
On this.
Yeah, we got stopped doing that like about 30 minutes ago at least.
I know. I was trying to get in, but my smartphone
Yeah, it kept cutting out on you. I noticed that.
on haywire, so I'm actually a little girl and a shaman from past life.
I think everybody in here has already knows that, though. I mean, because you told us.
Except maybe Rey Mysterio.
Knows what?
Well, except for Kristen.
I didn't hear it.
Kristen
Oh,
and
maybe not.
Michael.
Okay.
Except for Kristen and Michael Lloyd, I don't think anyone knows. But I'm actually a little girl who happens to be a shaman at age 10.
Interesting.
I'm actually a natural healer. If you guys remember the story of Jesus walking on water,
You walked on water?
just like that.
So, I
You know
mean,
what
I think
I've
there's only
often
one
wondered?
species that can do that to this day, and it's like a lizard.
Is the soul's linear? I mean, I understand the whole idea of reincarnation, but I mean, I've kind of thought about this just off and on in my weird way of thinking. But does this? We constantly
Chris Angel
think.
walked on water too.
We constantly kind of think of as time as linear. Most people do. You're a common person. Obviously, not most people in here, but that time being linear. So we
Your everyday Joe.
So why do we relate that as well to soul evolution? I mean, because is it a linear process, or in my past life could I not have been a planet?
Well, there's infinite possibilities. In fact,
yeah, and you can just. Oh, go ahead, Andy.
but like the thing is to sum it all up in terms of what I really am. People can hypothetically guess all that, but here it is from my own lucid dreaming experiences that I actually had 200 lucid dreaming experience, and all of them linked back to my past life, and turns out I was a little girl.
Well,
Blonde
Andy,
hair.
that's interesting, and it might serve you today, but you're saying my past life, but you had more than one. You've had to have had more than one.
I do.
Your soul is infinite.
I know.
Right.
Yeah. Evolution.
Well, because they say that the soul, like if you have a question, right, and then they have the whole thing like saying like, let's sleep on it, and basically what you do is, but you wake up in the morning with the answer, because when they say the whole God thing, it's talking about because your soul through many lifetimes of experience, it has the answer, so you may not remember it in this life. But in a previous life, you may have asked a similar question, and therefore the answer is able to come to you. So it's like the soul is like the all-knowing.
Right, and here's some more amazing stuff among one of my past lives is that I do study under the ancient Egypt mystery schools. A lot of teachers from different mystery schools teaches me magic and all sorts of stuff. That's how I know all this stuff.
Oh, wow. I know my first life,
also,
that what I have found, and I guess what I've always been attracted to, that I was in what they call ancient Kemet or Egypt.
Oh yeah, I remember you talking about that.
Yes, that's also one of them. And here's the funny thing,
My
because
first life.
my bloodline is also from the Illuminati. So therefore, many of the occult knowledge is so visible to me,
Did Carrie tell you this?
Well, no. In fact, one of the people that I met at the Starseed Awakening group, they did a reading on me, and they said, "You're from Orion. You're a reptilian." And it swings so vastly towards Orion, and that's when I found out that there's something more to myself than just being a bloodline. There's something about me.
Well, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that I am almost half and half angelic and reptilian. 54% angelic, 46% reptilian, and the reptilian comes from my dad's side of the family, just all of them. My mom's side
How
of the
do you
family.
know where the reptilian comes from?
Well, based on their actions in this lifetime, I can only imagine how they would treat each other in past generations. It's just insane, just insane. My dad passed away 2 years ago, and I've kind of been in touch with him, and so I know that I don't want to necessarily call him reptilian, but he had those characteristics. He kind of had that look, and he just had that attitude.
Right.
And
what was the attitude, if I may ask?
Well, he abandoned us at age 8. I don't know what was going through his mind, but he up and left. So there was that. Okay, well that's a lot of fathers do that, but it was more of like just controlling with money. His parents, which are my grandparents, they don't talk to me. Pretty sure it has to do with me being gay, bi, whatever you want to call it. And my mom, she was into tarot. I really wish I would have known her mom, my grandma, because I imagine she would have been the same thing. My mom gets visions. She's very in touch.
She's a seer.
Yeah, she understands, even though I know she's scared of things happening right now. She just has that connection, and so for me, my mom's side of the family is largely German, and my dad's side of the family is largely English, Russian, kind of a mix. I think my grandpa from my mom's side of the family is Native American, but he just flat out won't talk about it. I can't really talk to him about that. But I really feel like my mom's side of the family is just connected, and so that's where we get most of. That's where I've figured out, and I might be wrong, but I just feel like I've always felt like I've just been in between two completely different, not just people and parenting styles, but completely different worlds that they just don't work together. It's like oil and water, and here I am, like this tiny atom that's been created to kind of allow communication between the both, and it's not easy. It's like it drives me insane, and so I found this out very recently, just kind of looking within. I'm sure there's a mix of other things, but if I were to describe what I think I'm made of, it's partly angelic and partly reptilian, just because if I would choose one, I could probably turn into that, but something isn't right. Like I'm not supposed to pick one. I'm supposed to kind of dance.
Well, were you named after the archangel?
I don't know if I was named after the archangel. I was specifically named after my dad. My dad's name is Michael Wayne Lloyd. My name is Michael Glenn Lloyd, and Glenn comes from my dad's side of the family as well. So
it makes sense, the angelic.
Yeah, and just the way people look at me, I mean, they see me as the angel, but I mean, I know deep down there was something else. There was the cold side, there was the reptilian side. And it's not just like, oh, I don't care. Like, I can flat out really be a reptile at times. Just be like, okay, I'm done. Combine that with the fact that I'm a Scorpio, I mean, it's very weird. It's like a dance. Complete polar opposites, and it's dangerous for me because I feel like I'm a walking cosmic gate. Because cosmic gates, I think everyone's a cosmic gate, actually. Right. It's just I need to learn that dance and not turn off the reptile side, not turn off the angel side, because I don't think the reptilians are all bad. It is who they are. I've heard a lot of mystics say, the reptiles, they're all just going to be ashes to ashes, dust to dust, but I don't know. Something about that isn't right. Something about that does not jive with me. So that's why I haven't completely ignored the reptilian side. It's there.
They say
Don't worry,
dude. A reptilian.
Don't worry, dude. I'm also a reptilian too, but I'm part of it. I'm a smaller portion because, first off, just like what Michael was talking about, I also have been an indigo and a crystal myself. Like,
I'm the Lizard King. I can do anything.
What's Andy, if I could interrupt you for a second, what's really weird about my dad's side of the family is my brother and myself, as far as the Lloyds, the L-O-Y-D, the Lloyds, my brother and I are it. Like, we are the last two of our family bloodline. I don't know if he's going to have kids. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to have kids. And from what I understand, when you're the last of a certain bloodline, it looks like the end of a branch, which means it's kind of your last chance to help your whole soul line behind it connect. Like,
I know.
So the last the people in that branch, they get an opportunity to either connect with spirit or not. My brother right now, he was raised by my dad. He chose to move out from my mom's and live with my dad. So he's not spiritual at all. I can't even talk to him at all. And my dad, I wasn't really able to talk to him. He was an alcoholic. But when he died, I remember the moment he died before I found out. It's just like everyone still has a soul, whether you're a reptile or not. And so it was almost like, okay, this is what I have to do. And for my whole family lineage, it was beyond me. It was, of course, I'm doing it to help raise humanity, but for me, I feel like I'm making up a lot of lost opportunities from my dad's side of the family. So I have to make up all that work and provide, I call it an ethereal roadmap. So if they go through my life experience, they can kind of learn and absorb what I've learned and then take that path if they choose.
Okay.
Michael, does your dad have any brothers, or did he have any brothers?
Yeah, he was the youngest of his family. I'm forgetting how many. He had sisters and he had maybe one brother, but I think his brother turned out crazy or something, and then I wish I would have remembered a little bit more. But his whole side of the family is just
guys.
But you have to think, though, that bloodline still, I mean, of course, in the patriarchal tradition, it just follows the male, but that energy still exists within his sisters as well. So, I mean, yeah,
that's true.
That bloodline goes through the other family as well. Just, I mean, that's awesome that you're trying to, like, carry on that, or try to fill that bloodline and, like, create that ethereal roadmap, but you know, you don't necessarily have to be real hard on yourself about it, because there are other options.
I know that. Right. As far as carrying on the name, I know that bloodlines go more than just the name, but I don't know. My dad used to call my brother and I the Lloyd boys, because we would be if we were to get married, we would be the only ones to carry on that name, and that wasn't really important to me.
The Lloyd boys.
Yeah,
Michael.
But
it's the same with me and my brother. The Morris
you realize that your bloodline
Tony
was
Morrison.
reptilian, or what star seed
I'm
is.
kidding.
You are basically
Tony Morris.
If you reincarnate, you're still carrying that gene with you, you know? You still carry on that heritage, even after your death. That's what happens to me. From my previous life, somehow, like, I didn't tell you guys this, but my previous life, I betrayed my kind, my reptilian kind, by helping out the humans. And because of that, they felt and guess what? They are in power of the Roman Empire at that time, and I was threatening their power. So they took me down by trying to abuse me. Rape me, they do all sorts of stuff on me. That was horrendous. Now, when I came back, that was so beautiful. Guess what? I was a tormented soul until Carrie actually brought it up, and that's when I finally brought closure. That's why
you know, when I did the Reiki session on everything on you, Andy, to help alleviate, because, you know, I mean, people talk about past lives, you know, all the time, and like, oh yeah, you know, that's pretty cool, you have a past life, bro. It's like, yeah, but I mean, it they're not all the most fondest, the most joyful experiences.
But that one really sparked up the need to finish.
They could
what I
be.
started. But it started. Yeah, it sparked up something that I wanted to start, from the very beginning. But I didn't finish it, and now I'm coming back to do what I need to do. And that's what you brought up, Michael. And I know that when you cleanse me, or when, like, if Kristen is still here, like, if she ever tries cleansing me with Reiki, you'll have a big deal on how to deal with me. It's not easy.
Yeah.
You're talking about like a real big deal when it comes to healing a person like me.
Kristen knows Reiki?
No, I don't know necessarily like how to do it. I'm still learning on how to open up my own energies on my body and using it on myself before I probably do any type of Reiki on
you've
anybody
got
else.
I would suggest, it's up to you, but I would suggest just, there's all kinds of cool things that you can do, but there's like flower therapy, there's working with crystals, crystal healing.
Yeah. I pretty much have
I would
been
suggest
working.
like that, something like that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Diana, are you there?
So something like that, I mean, could really help. Definitely with the flower therapy, like what they call aromatherapy. Like, just get your nose under a certain kind of flower, and you just, it doesn't have to be like a person snorting a line or something, but it's just like,
Yeah. Well, I do have essential oils, and so I use those, and I have like incense and stuff that I like.
Yeah.
So I like the smells because then it kind of brings out something else in your memory, and you think about that specific something, and then you just go on with it, like if you're meditating or just sitting there in silence and thinking.
Oh, the smells are so strongly like connected, so awesome.
Mhm.
It's like even now this would sense, but like if a person, say there was a guy or something, say that you used to know that just had this smell. I mean, this dude just I mean, it's not like he was a nature boy. It's just this. I mean, it was like this, just stench about this
Or
guy.
always wore Axe.
He always wore Axe or something. You smell that, and say maybe either he broke up with you or whoever, the breakup or whatever didn't go as good or whatever, but whenever you smell this Axe or whatever that smell was, and you smell it, it brings back memories of the smelly boy or whatever. So it's so interesting that like how strongly like smell is connected with memory.
Oh yeah.
That like really, the smell has nothing to do with the person, your memory with it, because that was your experience with that smell.
Mhm.
Yes, and you relate that experience with that smell. Yeah.
It's like, ooh, that
Well, same
smell.
thing over here.
But yeah, like
Michael, when you brought up like the part flower and flower therapy and learn how to visualize something familiar, right? Well, I don't know about you, but somehow I got that connection with video games, especially some of the characters. I thought about anime, like if you watch Sonic the Hedgehog, if you associate yourself with Sonic the Hedgehog, I associate myself with Shadow the Hedgehog.
Talk to you guys later.
Okay, bye, Kristen.
Bye. You guys have a good night.
Good night.
Well.
Aw, you too. Maybe we'll meet up in a forest or something in the dream world.
Oh, shit.
Where's the
Hello.
Hello.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, what's up, Joe?
Skull.
Not much.
Skull?
Oh, hey, Joe.
Is that you?
Hey, Joe.
Hmm.
You got Jimi Hendrix
Wait,
on the
Skull,
brain.
where are you? Wait, Tony. Oh, where's the
Oh, do you see him? Can you see him, Tony?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can see him.
You see that light around him? That's a spirit. That's a spirit going in.
Michael, where's Diana? I can't see her.
Diana.
Deanna?
Got
She's not
trapped
in
in a
here.
water bottle.
Oh, yeah, dude, I don't know about you guys, but here's a funny story that happens to my girlfriend when I was doing my yoga stuff. I don't know what I did, but like around 2 o'clock Central Time, I was doing my yoga of immortality, where I showed it to Michael last time. I did it 3 times with my breath of fire and all that stuff, and out in the sun. I don't know what I did, but an hour later, my girlfriend got hit by 3 trances. That she was hit wave after wave of trances and meditative states, and she was like, "Is this Andy doing this?" I felt cold shivers up my spine, but I felt hot in my head, and I'm getting headaches. Even right when she was talking to you guys on the Hangouts, she was still having headaches to the point where she's like, "I have to go to bed right now." She got a headache, not a hay house.
Hay House Radio? During Virtue?
No, but Tony, you.
See you later, Michael.
Oh, is Michael leaving?
Yeah. Oh, okay. See you later, Michael.
For a bit.
Oh, Tony, did you have a chance to talk?
Force be with you.
Did you have a chance to talk to Deanna? She said that, yeah, I had a headache.
Yeah.
And then she said,
Oh yeah,
pretty
yeah.
cool,
I
man.
talked to her for a while on just on the chat. But yeah, I gave her some tips as far as doing her nails and
Tony's a man for that.
yeah.
Well, you did have those
Those long black razor sharp nails. Yes, that was me.
That's what I just don't believe is that whenever I have a connection with my girlfriend, when I did something, it hits her. So that's why I was like, dude.
Well, you can send energy to you.
Yeah.
I'm not joking.
Another person.
Was you trying to send it? Were you trying to send energy to her?
Yeah, but I ended up sending massive amounts. I didn't always intentionally try to send energy, that much energy, but when I did, I obliterated her. She almost got off the hook.
Well, you don't want to obliterate your girlfriend, man.
Yeah, really. I was just thinking that.
Especially if she's your girlfriend.
There's
You
like,
don't want to obliterate anyone.
You don't really want to try to squeeze like a gallon jug into a quart container. You know, just like slam it really hard to see what happens to that quart container. Especially if you've got a seal. Yeah,
you don't really know how experienced she is with receiving energy.
Yeah, I'll be back on.
All right. See you later, Joe.
Bye, Joe.
That's just...
Oh my god.
So, have you tried to
were you having
help her
like,
ground
phone
that
sex
energy
with her or something?
Have you tried to help her ground that energy, Andy? How you ground energy? What?
Because here's the thing, there's so many ways you can ground your energy, but like, what specifically do you now want me to do? Like, ground
whatever,
energy,
whatever you feel grounded you with.
Yeah.
Basically. But focus, you know, if she's got a headache, you know, you should immediately, you know, get back into that state and send that energy, that grounding energy to her to help her, you know, to help her bleed off a lot of that excess energy. Because if she's not ready for it, that cannot be good. And it's really not a laughing matter, to be totally honest.
Right.
I know, but like, that's the thing. I was like, if that's the case, I'm gonna have to give up my exercise sometimes. It's because I have been doing those exercises for like an hour and 66 minutes and 66 seconds out in the sun with.
Well, I told her.
With intensive amounts of.
I told her. I said, okay, well, basically what you do is you rub your hands like Mr. Miyagi from Karate Kid, and put your hands on your forehead. And she was like, huh? I don't understand that. One more time. You rub your hands together vigorously, like Mr. Miyagi from Karate Kid, and put your hands on your forehead. And she was like, oh, okay.
And that's one way to ground?
Well, if you have a headache, it's one way to. I didn't even say put it on the headache. I said, put your hands where you feel the ache is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like tapping
in the head.
Kind of.
The headache, yeah.
Or massage, phrenology.
So I mean that's
combination phrenology, Reiki.
What I do. Like I mean, as far as give you something you can do. As far as because I mean I think you know it's okay saying you hope you feel better. But if you're able to cure it in a matter of
that's the thing, guys. It's like
minutes or seconds, I think wouldn't it just be better to get the technique?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But you also have to look for the source as well. What's the source of the pain?
What's your
overflow of energy? Yeah, I was like, you have to release that.
Well, I think it'd probably be, and I mean, this could happen to anyone. This could happen to me. You know, you spend a lot of time on technology, electronics, and the EMF waves can, you know, can mess.
Here's the thing that I found out about my girlfriend.
I'll be right back.
Here's the thing is that.
But that's none of my business.
The reason why she has a headache and why I tried hard, because remember how I told you about the fact that I have a connection with her, where if something happens to me, it also happens to her. Remember, that's what happens when I started teaching her the Dzogchen meditation. We built that connection so strongly right now that every time whenever I do strong meditations, like I get to yoga and I just do it just the way I wanted to and just be who I am, it literally affected her strongly. Because first off, she has...
All you have to do, Andy, Well, I mean, you can absolutely, do your own thing, but if you know that it's affecting her and she's not ready for it, just taper down the energy just on her, not you. You can do that. I know you can if you can travel in the astral. So, yeah, just go and help her ground herself so she can channel some of that energy that is overbearing her into the earth.
Right, and here's the funny thing.
Hey, Bonnie.
And here's the reason why.
Sorry, can you guys hear me? I'm just gonna jump in.
I can still hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Cool. I'm gonna actually need to shut this thing down. Like the fan on my laptop is kind of making noise, so it would be a good idea to give the computer a break.
It's okay, dude. And in fact, I wouldn't.
Wow, so that's good.
We can start another hangout.
Well, I'm gonna close it, but you guys will still be able to stay here. You won't have to leave.
Okay.
We'll stop.
All right.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Yeah, Andy.
I wish we get to learn and communicate more about how to start a paradigm shift hangout or a community, because here's the thing, because I'm about to do it here in Austin, but this time it's not going to be a paradigm shift, and I'm going to make it go worldwide, not just nationwide.
Like just community stuff that you're doing there, right?
Yup, and this time is for those who have ascension symptoms like me, my girlfriend, and many others. Because just today, my girlfriend got hit 3 waves of ascension symptoms, and it all because I was doing some exotic yoga from Tibet, and it hits her so hard right now, and she got a headache, and she has to leave the hangout.
Okay. All right.
So
well,
I need to give her a support group.
Yeah, that's cool, man. All right, we'll talk more about that. Yeah, everyone's sort of got projects they're working on. That's good though. Cool. Okay, yeah, so you guys before, don't just say bye to me. Well, let's say bye to the internets, and we'll finish off this video with a proper farewell. So say goodbye to the internets, guys. Bye, internets. Goodbye, internets.
Bye,
Until
internet.
next time.
Bye.
Internets.
Be excellent.
Keep it shifty. There you go. All right, one love.